Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we are here for the Buzzwordathon TBR video. So let's get started. Well, good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I want to read for the Buzzwordathon Reading Challenge for 2024. Now, I have seen lots of people do this over the last couple of years, and I've always wanted to do it, but I've just never initiated myself to get the TBR together and to do it. So basically, I was on point this time. I seen the announcement come up at the end of the year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I've got plenty of books to choose from and all that sort of stuff. So I got my list and I started scouring my shelves for all of the books that I'm going to read. So there's 12 in total. This is the brainchild of Books and Lala. If you didn't already know that, I will leave a link up down below to her announcement video. And then that way you can see what the prompts are and all the rest of it. Alternatively, you can find it over on Storygraph rather, and that's where I've logged all my books over there, so I know what I'm reading and whatnot. Because I thought, you know what, I'll get this TBR out, and then I'll have to keep referring to the video to see what I read, because I'll inevitably lose the piece of paper that I wrote everything down on and all that sort of stuff. Although I am getting better at putting things in books. So there's that. But anyway, I have managed to pull 10 off my shelf and 2 off my Kindle shelf. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, so I'm going to do these in order that they are on Storygraph. So let me just bring up my phone. If it opens up, it's being difficult. Bring up what I've got here. All right, so the first one for January is in the title. It needs to include there, or there. So all the theirs. And I had an Ali Smith book on my shelf. It is called There But For The. I'm not too sure what this book is about, but I watch a YouTuber called Jen Campbell, and she often refers to Ali Smith, and I've had Ali Smith on my shelf for quite some time. Now, Jen Campbell reads a lot of different books, and she reads a lot of advanced reader copies and translated works and all that sort of stuff. And I really do trust her judgment and her thoughts on books. When she says that she likes an author, she's very genuine, and and you'll pick up a book and you're in for a bit of a ride. So I've read a few of her recommendations, and she hasn't led me astray yet. So without knowing much about the books, I brought I think 5 in total of Ali Smith's books, and I've not read any of them yet. So there is a little blurb on the back. It says, adventurous, intoxicating, and dazzling. This is a novel with serious, ambitious ambitions and remains a huge fun read. Writing dances along. So that's just a little blurb that's on the back, and I always like to read them. I mean, even if they're not true, that I always like to see how people talk a book up and stuff like that. Just a little weird thing that I like to do. But the blurb goes on to say, there once was a man, one night between the main course and the suite at a dinner party, went upstairs and locked himself in one of the bedrooms of the house of the people that were giving the party. As the hours turned to days, to weeks, to months, and the consequences of this stranger's actions rippled onwards, touching the owners, the guests, the neighborhood, and then the whole country. So Ali Smith draws us into a beautiful, strange place where everyone is so much more than they first appear. It's whimsical, devastating, playful, humorous, and serious, profoundly clever, and profoundly affecting. So it sounds like a really good book. Like it sounds like it's up my alley, right? So yeah, so I'm going to give that one a read. I am actually starting this at the time of filming this. It was the 9th of January. So I'm actually starting this because I need to start reading it to get it out of the way for January. All right, so that is book 1 for January. Book February. This one needs to be positive, happy words. So for instance, you might have sweet, cute, happy, joy, smile, cheer, luck, pretty. So if you watched my Advent, you know that I got the Advent box and I unwrapped a whole heap of books and all that sort of stuff. Just basically books, and we talked about them and all that sort of stuff. And I said I wanted to read 2 a month. Well, This is February's book that I'm going to be reading. It is called Lucky. It fits the prompt pretty good. It's a Reese's book club pick. I don't know what year it's from and whatnot. I do get Reese's book clubs. I've only just started recently buying them in the physical. It's not a very long book, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty quick read. So this is this one, when I read this one out, I thought the premise really intrigued me. So it is about Lucky Armstrong. She's a tough, talented, and in real trouble. Having just pulled off $1 million heist with her boyfriend, she's preparing to start a brand new life, complete with a new identity, when everything goes sideways. Suddenly, Lucky finds herself completely alone without any help from her father or her boyfriend, the two figures whom she has learnt how the art of scam. When Lucky discovers a lottery ticket she bought on a whim is worth millions. Her elation is tempered by the one big problem. Cashing in the winning ticket means she'll also be arrested for her crimes. As Lucky tries to avoid the capture and make a future for herself, she must find a way to confront her own past and learn what it means to be independent and honest before her luck runs out. And I love the cover. Like, the cover just is awesome. So that is February's one. All right, next one is for March. Let me have a look what we've got. Okay, so this one is March buzzword, a name in the title. Okay, so this one can be something like Amari, or maybe Delilah Green doesn't care, or something along those lines. It has to have a name in the cover. So this is another one from the Advent box. It's called Em and Me. I don't know what it's about, but I have read this author before, and I love her writing style. She read Saving Missy, and that book just tore at my heartstrings, and absolutely loved it. I love the way she wrote that book and all that sort of stuff. And I recommended it to a couple of friends, and they've read it, and they also teared up at the same place as I did, and all that sort of stuff. So just be warned that this author may be one that it will break you. All right, so Em and Me is, I'm not too like, I read this one and I was pretty excited that I got this author in the box, but this one is for a name on the title. For too long, since the sudden death of her mother, since the birth of her daughter Em, when she was just 17. Daphne had been unable to let go of the past, obsessed with protecting Em and clinging to a secret that could ruin everything. She's been living a life in the safe shades of grey. The day that Daphne finally stands up for herself is the day that changes everything. Daphne begins to remember what it was like to want more, rediscovering her singing voice, opening herself up to friendships, and reviving not only her mother's roots but her mother's memories. And as her life begins to fill with color, can she be brave for herself and for Em, and what would happen if she finally told the truth? Love yourself in this big-hearted, hopeful novel about finding second chances and taking them. So yeah, when I read that in December, I'm like, yeah, that is definitely Beth Morris style. She just writes tearjerkers around a couple of central characters and whatnot. So I'm expecting to have a box of tissues with me in March for this one. All right, now we move on to April, and April is anything related to the planet. So it can be earth, dirt, grass, ocean, tree, etc., river, whatever. So I picked another one from the Book Grocer Advent box. This is The River Home by Hannah Rachel. It has flowers on it, it has the river on it, and it has the word river on it as well. So water, which obviously referring to the river. So yeah, this is the one that I picked up for that one. And so this, as I said, is another one that I got out of the Book Grocer box at Christmas. So far so good. I'm getting a couple out of there. So I'm going to be able to, I've got a good feeling that I'm going to get that box read. So this one here is the best-selling author. This author is the best-selling author of the Peacock Summer and the Secrets of the Tides. So yeah, so I believe she's Australian. That I haven't really looked into it, and I will get into much more detail on these when I read them and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so let's find out what this book is about, shall we? There's got a blurb on there. It just says it's something she learned years ago the hard way, and that she knows she will never forget. Even the sweetest fruit will fall and rot into the earth eventually. No matter how deep you bury the pain, the bones of it will rise up and haunt you, like the echoes of a summer night, like the river flowing relentlessly on its course. So Margaret didn't want to go home. She had spent all her adult life trying not to look back, but a text from her sister Lucy has brought her back to Somerset. I need you. As Margaret and Lucy and their eldest sister Eve reunite in their childhood home beside the river, the secrets they have kept from one another and from themselves refuse to stay hidden. A wedding brings them together, but long shimmering, relentless resentments, threaten to tear the family apart. No one could imagine the way this gathering would change them all forever. And though the sorrow they are forced to confront, there is a chance of that the healing will also come, but only if the truth can finally be told. So it sounds like a fairly compelling family sort of drama book, which is, I like reading those sort of books. I don't know. Well, I don't know what that says about me. I just like the family drama. And all the rest of it. So maybe because I don't have any drama of my own. I don't know. Who knows what that is? All right, moving on to May. So this one is the title must include the word every. So either every, everything, everyone, or everybody. So I went scouring, and this one took me a while, and I forgot that I had it. This is another one that I got from a Book Grocer box, which was the 2022 Advent, A Distant View of Everything. This is I believe this is a female detective story. I'm not going to go into great detail because a lot of time when I read these detective ones, I end up getting spoiled for it, and I don't want to do that. So it's got the title on it. I've been wanting to read this author for a while, and it is an Isabel Dalhousie novel. So I believe she is a female detective from memory. So she, when a matchmaker begins to question the latest match, Isabel Dalhousie is called upon to help. A new baby brings an abundance of joy to Isabel and her husband, Jamie, but almost a 4-year-old Charlie is not too keen on the newborn brother. In fact, he refuses to acknowledge Magnus. And Isabel must find a way to impress upon her older son the patience and understanding that as guided principles, yada, yada, yada. So, and I'm going to stop there because then it goes on to tell you what's happening in the story. So I'm looking forward to reading that for that month. And yeah, so I met the prop with that one. Oh, I'm so proud of myself getting all these books most of these physical books off my, all of them off my physical shelf, but only having to get 2 digital ones, which is great, which were on my Kindle shelf anyway, because I own both of those books. They weren't KU or anything. All right, the next one, a repeating word. So in the title, there must be the same word twice. Okay, so I went with Candace Fox, which is a book that I picked up for $2 from a secondhand bookseller called Fire with Fire. So yeah, I am new to this author. I've never read anything by hers, but a good friend of mine keeps recommending me to read her. So I'm going to be reading this one. And that is for the month of June. All right. And this one, again, this one is just, this one's set at Santa Monica Beach, and a missing person, a body's never been found. And it's a rookie cop is fired on her first day. There's just little bits and pieces that I'm pulling out. A lot of thrillers and crime thrillers, I don't like to read the synopsis because it inevitably gives it away, and then it just spoils a bit for me, and then I'm like, yeah. So yeah, so all right, the next one for July, and it's measurement words. So this could be anything that's related to measurement. So I sort of stretch this a little bit if I come across something that is more suitable, but this is what I've pulled off the shelf so far. It's called Count the Ways. So you count when you're measuring, you count how many miles that's so I'm stretching it, okay? Don't come at me. But yeah, so it's about reading our books, right? So I stretched it a little bit. This is what the cover looks like. It is by Joyce Maynard. So I sort of stretched this one a little bit. So Eleanor and Cam meet at a crafts fair in Vermont in the mid-1970s. She's an artist and a writer, and he makes wooden bowls. Within 4 years, they are parents to 3 children, 2 daughters and a redhead son who fills his pockets with rocks and plays the violin and talks to God. To Eleanor, their New Hampshire farm provides everything she's always wanted. If Eleanor and Cam don't make love as often as they used to, they have something that matters more, their family. Then comes a terrible accident caused by Cam's negligence. Unable to forgive him, Eleanor is consumed by bitterness, losing herself in the life as a mother, while Cam finds solace with a new, younger partner. Over the decades that follow, the 5 members of the fractured family make surprising discoveries and decisions that occasionally bring them together and often tear them apart. Tracing the course of their lives through the gender transition of one child, another child's choice to completely break with her mother, Joyce. Joyce Maynard captures a family forced to confront the essential painful truths of their past and find redemption in the darkest of hours. A story of holding on and learning to let go. Count the Ways is beautifully poignant and deeply compassionate novel of home, parenthood, love, and forgiveness. So it sounds like another one in July. I'm going to have my box of tissues, but I did stretch it a little bit, but I'm going to go with it. Okay. The next one that we have is I'll have to put the cover up on the screen, because this one is off my Kindle, and it is called it is for like. We have to have the word like in the title. I did not have anything on my shelf that had the word like in the title. This was a tough one, and it took me ages to find this book, and then I forgot that I had this book on my Kindle. So this includes the word like, and it's called White Like Her. And let me just bring up the book so I can tell you what it's about. It is, I believe it's a non-fiction or a memoir. Like Her, my family story of race and racial passing. Okay, so it has 316 pages. It was first published in 2017. And basically I'm reading this in August. Let me just find the description for you so I can tell you what it's about. So White Like Her, my family story of race and racial passing, is a story of Gail Lugakish, I think is how you pronounce her name. Her mother's passing. Gail struggles with the shame of her mother's choice and the subsequent journey of self-discovery and redemption. In this historical context of the Jim Crow South, Gail explores her African-American mother's decision to pass and how she hid her secret from even her own husband, and the price she paid for choosing whiteness. Haunted by her mother's fear and shame, Gail embarks on a quest to uncover her mother's racial lineage, tracing her family back to the 18th century colonial Louisiana. In coming to terms with her decision to publicly out her mother, Gail changed how she looks at race and heritage. That is the book that I'm going to be reading in August. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good choice. And it's another nonfiction as well. So I'm trying to incorporate more nonfiction into my reading repertoire this year. All right, the next one is for book 9, which is September, and this is all about the senses. So anything to do with your senses, so touch, taste, smell, sight, hearing, any related words. So that can be feel, mouth, eat, nose, ear, hear, all that sort of stuff. So I think this might be a bit of a stretch, but it's called The Listeners. Now, be prepared. This cover is pretty full on. Okay, it is another one out of the Book Grocer Christmas Advent for 2023, called The Listeners, and this is by Jordan Tannenhill. This one it sounds a little bit sci-fi-ish, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll end up finding out about it in September. While lying in bed next to her husband one night, Claire Devon hears a low hum that he cannot, and it seems no one else can either. This innocuous noise begins to cause Claire headaches, nosebleeds, insomnia, and gradually upsetting her balance of life through no obvious source or medical cause can be found. When she discovers that a student of hers can also hear the hum, the two strike up an unlikely intimate friendship. Finding themselves increasingly isolated from their families and colleagues, they fall into a desperate group of neighbours who also perceive the sound. What starts as a neighbourhood self-help group gradually transforms into something more extreme extreme with far-reaching, devastating consequences. So it sounds, and then it goes on, The Listeners is an exhilarating and erotic novel that explores the seduction of the wild and unknowable, the human search for transcendence, a rise of conspiracy culture in the West, and the desire for community and connection in our increasingly polarizing times. So it sounds like a really interesting premise. And like I said, it sounds a little bit sci-fi-ish, but I don't think it is though. But it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. So this is book 9 that I'll be reading this in September. And again, another one out of the Book Grocer box. All right, the next one that I'm going to be reading is for October. This is relationships. So this can be the title include relation of any kind. So it needs to examples of that: sister, friend, brother, aunt, mother, husband, wife, etc. Okay, so any cousin, whatever. Okay, so this one is out of the Book Grocer Advent box. This is by Chandler Baker and it's called The Husbands. This one actually has an interesting premise to it. Welcome to the neighborhood. We do things different here. Recently, Nora has started to feel that having it all, a family, a soon-to-be new house, a successful career, comes at a price. One her husband, Hayden, doesn't seem to be paying quite so heavily. Then their house hunting takes them into an affluent suburban neighborhood, and Nora's eyes are open to a whole new world. One where women can have it all, one where men actually pull their weight. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, my husband works very hard, so he does pull his weight. Don't take that the wrong way. But I'm sure there's some of us out there that think, gee, you could do a little bit more around the house, right? But as a wrongful death case involving one of the local residents draws Nora further into this perfect world, she begins to realize that the secret of having it all is far more complicated than she could have ever imagined. In fact, it may be worth killing for. So it sounds like a little bit of a murder mystery and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty happy to be having that on the list as well. And that is for October, did I say? Yes, that is for October. All right, the next one that is for November. Again, this is off my Kindle shelf. This was another hard one that it took me a while to find this one. It has to have the word only in the title. And I looked everywhere. It took me probably a good half an hour to go through my entire list on Kindle, and I ended up finding this. And this also comes with an audio as well. So it's two birds. It's a Kindle that I've got that came with an audio. So I'm pretty happy about that, because a lot of time I get the BookBub emails and I get the book for free, but then it's only $3 for the $3.50 for the audio, so I'll grab the audio. This one is called, and as you can see it's on the screen right now, it's called My First, My Last, My Only. So let me just bring up the information about it. This one has 262 pages in it. It was published in 2020. It is first in a series. So we have a socially awkward and prone to accidents Franny has a brand new project herself. She's her project. Owning the local bakery, The Sweet Spot, has taken up all of her time and her energy, and she's neglected her social aspects of her life. It sounds very familiar for me. I'm a little bit like that. My work just seems to eat away at my social time. So yeah, I can relate to that. The small lakeside town of Granite Cove, New Hampshire, is full of quirky residents eager to help and hinder her new plan. Mitch, an award-winning director, returns to the town, and he has an agenda of his own, as wreaking havoc with her goals and her heart. Can Franny outwit her nemesis, overcome her perfect sister's surprise return, and escape the cocoon of her own insecurities and take a chance on love, and to get her very own happily ever after? So it sounded like a really sweet story, and I thought, you know what, we're getting close to the end of the year. It'd be nice to have just some sweet love stories and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of why I went for that one. And as I said, that also comes with an audio, so I'll probably just listen to that during that time. All right, another one off my physical shelf is December. This one's pretty easy. Holiday season words. So this can include anything such as Christmas, Hanukkah, Santa, Merry, holiday, wreath, snow, winter, reindeer, gift, family, yada, 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 right? Okay, so that's where we're at. This one I picked up for $1 from the secondhand store. It's called A Midnight in the Snow. It's by Karen Swan. I have no idea what it's like, but I did pick this up in August when it was blue cover, and I was on team blue. So it was quite interesting that I had it here, and I didn't end up reading it at all. And it's been sitting on my shelf, and I didn't even read it this Christmas. So I thought, you know what, why not pick it up and read it next Christmas, because I like to read Christmas stuff. This one has 400 pages. It was published in 2021. It's like a brand new book. Obviously someone got it as a gift and was not interested at all. It says $2 on it, but when I went to get it, they had a special on at the time. So it was back in July when I brought this, because it says July on the tag, and which I'm going to take off because I don't like stickers on my thing. So this book is meeting the prompt. Midnight in the Snow by Kara is a good fit for those that are seeking an emotional and adventurous romance. Explores the complexities of forbidden attraction, secrets, redemption, and set against the Austrian Alps. So that is who it's geared towards. And so yeah, so that is one that I'll be reading in December. I'm actually starting to compile my December books already, so you'll probably see this pop up again on my December TBR. But that is the final book for the Buzzwordathon. So I don't know if I think I'm going to just try and read them each month. I know that some people sort of mix and match and just read them wherever they want to, but I think for my first time ever doing this, I'm going to read them in order. So the very first book that I'll be reading will be the Ali Smith one, and I'm looking for, as I said, because that's come from a booktuber that I watch frequently. And I sort of binge watch her, so she'll bring out a whole heap of videos, and I'll put them all in my watch list, and then I binge watch her. And that, so Ali Smith, There But Not There, is the first one that I'm going to be reading for January. And as I said at the time of filming, this was the 9th of January, so it'll be getting started today. But that is it for the Buzzwordathon TBR for 2024. I do appreciate you spending some time with me today. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel as well, so you can learn more about my feelings on these. I will definitely just be vlogging these along. I'll probably do them as standalone vlogs and whatnot throughout the year, so you'll get to see all about the books that I've just mentioned. But as always, as I said, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below. Leave me a book emoji down below so I know you've made it this far. And don't forget, keep turning those pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.